So hello to all the guys, gals, and non-binary pals watching. This is the Wiki Weekdays podcast. I'm your host for this week, Lucas Holland, and I'm joined, as ever, by my lovely co-host, Karl Smallwood.
Hello, and I hope everyone out there has had a good start to their new year. Like, have you broke your New Year's resolution yet? You continued with it? Have you got a New Year's resolution?
I don't really do, resolutions resolutely, but, just generally have a goal to lose a bit of weight, because, I've got a sister's wedding this year, so the aim is to just, kind of trim down a little bit, make little Lucas happen. But yeah, how about yourself?
Mine has been more nebulous. I've got a couple. One of them is to start, journaling. So a friend of mine got me, an Arthur Morgan journal, the leather-bound one.
And nice, yeah.
So what I've been doing is, at the end of each day, I find one thing that I've, done, a receipt or, I'll do a drawing, and I'll make a note of what I did that day. And my hope is at the end of a year, I can go back through it and, this is what I did this year. It just encouraged me to, when I'm, out and about, or even just a day like today when I'm just recording, find something that I can single out as, a moment from that day that I'm going to remember, would like to remember going forward. I'm also learning to bake. So tomorrow I'm going to be baking a cake. And I'll be posting a picture of it in the Discord. I mentioned that on the one of the videos recorded just before the new year.
Mm-hmm. And I also mentioned that I want to dabble in learning Japanese, but that's kind of more of a, when and if I've got the time kind of vibe, not necessarily I want to hit a certain goal by the end of 2026 or anything. Just a bit more casual.
Yeah, I only know one Japanese word, and it is Dragon Ball.
It is Domo Arigato. No, I'm joking.
Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
No, I will not be doing that. But yeah, welcome to the Wiki Weekdays podcast. Just generally, the vibe is that both Karl and I will bring a wiki of our choosing to talk about and probably go off on a bunch of tangents. And this week, we're going to be talking about Zorro and their influence on maybe being the very first just superhero in general, and how much did they inspire Batman to become Batman.
Definitely one of the earliest caped heroes.
For sure, yeah. And we're also going to be talking about, Animal Crossing and the influence it's had on our world, and then also just getting a little bit of revenge on some, much hated characters in video games.
Let's be real.
That catharsis.
Yeah, let's be real. That wiki entry was more an excuse for us to talk about dumb shit we've done in video games.
It really was. And, I'm just excited to get back into Animal Crossing with a new update. But yeah, we also have to mention our pet of the week. And
it's a good one this week, right?
It is a good one this week.
That's a good pet of the week. That's a good boy. Or good girl.
Well, presumably good girl, because our pet of the week is Diamond, and Diamond had puppies. So naturally, I've put a picture of Diamond as pet of the week, because Diamond is, the true hero, bringing new life into the world, and bringing more dogs into the world.
Exactly.
More specifically.
Truly one of the greatest heroes that's ever lived is a dog who made more dogs.
Exactly.
Let's go.
I'll give the babies their privacy, but it was posted on our Discord, link to which you can find below. And automatically, of course, everyone voted for cute baby puppies.
Well done, well done, well done, well done, well done. The dog has no idea. But I hope that for every well done, just one individual pat right on its head, right
there. But yeah, if you'd like to contribute, pet/animal of the week that you think is interesting and deserves a showcase, then you can find the links to our Patreon below, and all of our patrons can link their Discord account and post contributions to Pet of the Week. So, yeah.
I thought you were going to say post-controversial content then. Just for a split second. It's
really controversial Pets of the Week, yeah. The 2026, the year of the controversial pet. Let's go.
I'm trying to think what a pet could do to be controversial.
Bring less dogs into the world? I don't know. You've got to be doing some bad stuff as a pet to not just be cute.
It's like pets and dogs and stuff almost entirely like morally neutral. So it's like dog meat in Fallout, isn't it? Dog meat don't give a shit what you are because dog meat don't care.
Yeah, and every time a dog does something stupid or controversial, they immediately just give you the puppy dog eyes and you're like, well, I can't stay mad at you.
I guess the most controversial thing a dog will do is fart and pretend it didn't fart.
But anyway, Karl, we should get into the podcast. So what wiki have you brought for us this week?
Well, I guess before we do that, we have to mention, like you mentioned Patreon, we've got our Patreon producers floating around on screen. There are PPs and our big PPs.
That's true.
We have our individual Patreon producers you can see like floating around above my head, as well as our Patreon, our big PPs, which will be mentioned at the end of the video.
They will indeed. They'll all get a nice, lovely shout out. So thank you for reminding me of that, because it's been a few weeks since we've recorded a podcast. We're a bit rusty. It's
the first podcast of the year. Don't worry about it. Like, you expect to see more content like this by following this channel or this subscription feed on whatever podcast service you happen to listen to. But otherwise, Lucas, you're going to introduce myself from the past, yes?
I was indeed. So yeah, Karl, what wiki have you brought for us this week?
Well, I thought we could talk about what might be one of the earliest examples of a superhero.
Okay, and that
is Zorro, aka the Fox.
Zorro the Fox? Is that like a nickname, a moniker they had?
No, it's what Zorro stands for. Zorro is like Spanish for fox.
Oh, I never actually knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
So the reason I wanted to talk about Zorro is because over the Christmas period, this is the first video recording after Christmas. Mm-hmm. On Christmas Day, I was like, okay, what film should I watch to make me feel Christmassy? I watched The Mask of Zorro, and it's really good.
Fair enough. And, obviously I'm sure most people know that in the back of my head when Karl went, I'm going to be talking about Zorro, and my One Piece brain just went
immediately.
And it's like, oh no, different Zorro. But yeah, I can't remember whether Zorro is actually named after the masked, not vigilante, but hero Zorro.
Presumably so, right? Because Zorro wields a sword. That's like Zorro the Fox's thing of he's a master swordsman, but also a nobleman.
Yeah, and Zorro in One Piece is trying to become the greatest swordsman in the world.
It has to be a reference. And if it isn't, then it's a hell of a coincidence, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
But either way, so what is your familiarity with Zorro as a character? Either live action or the original novel from which he hails?
So I'm not very familiar with the novel. I definitely have, as a kid, watched a couple of the Zorro films. And then kind of just generally more, pop culture osmosis / Puss in Boots being a clear, allusion to Zorro.
Literally voiced by Antonio Banderas. But yeah, Zorro, like I said, it's one of the original superheroes. The actual inspiration for Batman. Batman is the direct inspiration for Zorro. But for anyone who's unfamiliar with the character of Zorro, we are on the Hero Wiki. Also, I want to keep saying Zorro with a mock Spanish accent. I'm really sorry, it's fun to say. I hope any Spanish speakers out there don't find it offensive. It's just Zorro is a really fun word to say with the Spanish. Zorro.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I found myself doing when I was watching The Mask of Zorro with Antonio Banderas and Anthony Hopkins.
Wait, Anthony Hopkins?
Yeah, they just put some grease paint on him, they make a big flowy shirt, and just, fuck it, he's Spanish.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. You know what? It was a different time. It was the 90s.
It was a different time.
So who do we get to play the love interest? Let's get the Welsh actress Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know, what Catherine Zeta-Jones's kind of heritage is, but yeah, Welsh. I always thought that she had a foreign-sounding name, and it's she's Welsh.
Welsh, yeah. Went to school with Rob Brydon.
It's just the Zeta, right? Because, Catherine Jones just sounds like a classic UK name.
I went to school with a Cat Jones.
Yeah.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, though, married to Michael Douglas. Now we're talking. But for anyone unfamiliar with the characters of Zorro, we open with a quote. A nobleman is nothing but a man who says one thing, but thinks another. And that is Don Diego de la Vega in The Mask of Zorro.
Hell yeah.
So Zorro, Spanish for Fox, is the titular main protagonist of the series of books, comic books, and movies of the same name. He is a masked outlaw living in Spanish colonial-era California, and he is portrayed as a defender of the civilians against the tyrannical authorities as well as many other villains. And he is a nobleman who dons a costume to go out at night and beat up people. Does that sound like any other person you know from fiction?
I mean...
A rich guy who beats up criminals Batman. In a costume. Yeah.
But I was thinking of, it kind of reminds me of just the stories you hear of, the people who used to just ambush people on the road in the garages.
Oh, yeah, like a highwayman, Dick Turpin, something like that.
And stuff, yeah.
He's a nobleman. And there's an idea of how intrinsically linked the character of Zorro is to the character of Batman. In many interpretations of the Batman mythos, how does Batman lose his parents, Lucas?
With a good old gunshot.
A gunshot in an alleyway after they did what?
Well, I mean, the one that I'm familiar with is like they go to see a play, and
They
then
see a play. That's in the Christian Bale ones.
Is that just in the Christian Bale ones?
In the Christian Bale, sometimes it's a play, but more often than not, it's a movie. And do you know what movie they're watching?
Is it The Mask of Zorro?
It's The Mask of Zorro. Yes.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
As a nod to the fact that the character of Batman owes a lot to the character of Zorro. So in a lot of Batman media, the play, sometimes they're watching like a play version, because there are play versions of The Mask of Zorro out there, but usually they're at an old theatre watching the original, like I think it's like 1940s, 1950s, The Mask of Zorro movie.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And there's even one comic where Batman's dad, Thomas Wayne, he's dressed like Zorro for a Halloween party and stops a crime while dressed as Zorro. And little Bruce Wayne sees that, and that's one of the things in some continuities that inspires Batman to dress all in black and go beat people up.
But what if that was a big bat?
Is there any, like, superhero comic book movie moment more contrived than when, like, little baby Bruce Wayne is watching, like, the play in the Christian Bale ones, and they have, like, the people on stage dressed like bats?
Yeah.
And then, like, he falls... Which is the movie where he falls into the well and, like...
That's what Batman Begins as well.
Is that the bats carry him out of the well?
I don't think the bats carry him out of the well, but they, like, swirl and tornado around him as he falls, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just... Okay, we get it. He's scared of bats, and he takes what scares him and makes it into his strength.
That would be incredible if little baby Bruce just rose out of the well in a tornado of bats. Like, yes.
Well, he does at the end of the movie. We talked before about in Batman Begins when Batman presses that little button in his boot, and like 1 quintillion bats fly. Like I'm talking like a continent's worth of bats fly in. He should use that all the time. Batman should never not be. He should be a literal cloud of bats. And I want to see a universe where that's what happens. And I want to see like Commissioner Gordon responding to like the calls of another swarm of bats beat someone up. That's gonna cause some and issues.
Then, like Batman turns up at his house and he's like, "I swear it wasn't me."
I swear it wasn't me. The thing is, though, like when it's a guy dressed like a bat beating people up, sure, but they're never going to suspect. They're not even going to suspect that it's a person in there. Maybe it's just a sentient cloud of bats that beats people up.
Well, yeah, because like you see into the Dark Knight, like the copycats that are just wearing like hockey gear, right? But it's like, how do you be a copycat of a swarm of bats with a man inside?
It's ridiculous. I always found it hilarious that Batman doesn't like that there's copycats. Like only I can beat up criminals.
It's like, oh, why? What's the difference between me and you? It's I've got more money.
Essentially, that's what he wants to say, but he can't say that because then they'll realise it's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, exactly.
It is kind of weird how Batman doesn't want there to be copycats. It's like, okay.
Obviously, it's just because he's like, look, you're going to get messed up at some point. Like,
yeah.
You're going to get shot or something.
But at the same time, like, that dude even says, like, we're just doing what you did with copying your example. We're rising up and doing something about criminals. Mm-hmm. And Batman's like, no, only I can do that. I'm
not meant to be inspiring. I'm meant to be a solo warrior.
Yeah, like, only I... Like, you know what? I'm stealing all this glory. Batman's a team killer. You know he would.
Oh, yeah.
He wants all the glory for himself, right? But, we continue now with the wiki. So, Zorro is famous for his sword, which is used to cut a Z shape into wood or enemy clothing. This has become a trademark of the hero. And that's like the deadly puck of Zorro. And it's been parodied countless times, like most notably in The Simpsons.
Well, I would say most notably in Shrek 2 and going forward, right?
I always think The Simpsons, because that's where you have, like, oh god, my camera's doing the thing where it's cutting out. But anyway,
goddamn.
It's fine. The video version's going to be messed up, but the audio version's fine. And in The Simpsons, they have like Zorro doing that to like the lady in Mask of Zorro. He cuts Catherine Zeta-Jones' clothes off.
Yeah.
They have like the piss take of that, and the woman's wearing like 18 layers. It's like, stop cutting off my clothes.
How fun would it be if Batman like just punched a bee into you?
Well, he does, isn't it? That's what he does in the Zack Snyder ones. He brands people with the bat.
True, with the bat.
And then they get killed in prison, and Batman's like, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with people being beaten to death in prison, because I technically didn't do it.
Well, and not only that, but he essentially continues to do it so that they'll get killed in prison.
Yeah, which is a wild thing for like that version of Batman to like use to justify what he's doing. When his justification for beating up criminals is any person I beat up is a symptom of the crime that killed my parents. It's like, but by your own logic, they're not responsible for that, but in your mind they are.
Oh, well. Anyway, let's talk about Zorro.
Yes, and in regards to The Simpsons, I also love all the other parody they do where like Homer's painting like a wall, and he goes, well, Bart can be El Barto, I'll be El Homo. And he writes El Homo on the wall in giant letters. Someone goes, oh, I wish I had your courage, senor. And he's like, oh! Just to realise it.
Oh, God. That's good branding.
But Zorro is the Spanish word for fox, as mentioned, is used to describe the hero's personality, clever and capable of taking great risks without seeming care to his own personal safety. And he also is like, quick and cunning as a fox and always escapes from danger.
And you used the term superhero, Karl.
Yeah. He's got no superpowers, but he is the prototypical superhero. It's like all superheroes kind of owe a debt to Zorro.
Because I was going to say, like, there is that conversation of, for example, is Batman a superhero? And it's like, well, at this point, he essentially does have superpowers, but the argument could be made, he's meant to be a person without powers, therefore, is he a superhero or just, like, a good hero?
Yeah, he's a hero, but like all masked heroes kind of owe, as I mentioned, a debt to Zorro. Yeah. And it mentions here that Zorro was created in 1919 by the late Johnson McCulley and has been portrayed by numerous actors. And this is the Heroes Wiki, so we have some basic information about Zorro and his goals. So, full name, Don Diego de la Vega, aliases Zorro, or Senor Zorro. Origins, the Curse of Capistrano, sorry. I almost did a retake then, because we've not done a podcast in a while. And his occupation is a nobleman / vigilante. And his powers and abilities include cleverness, equestrianism, master fencer, marksmanship, whipsmanship. So that's like such a cool weapon. You don't often see a character utilize a whip as a weapon. Like there's Indiana Jones, there's Zorro, and there's Catwoman. Can you think of any more?
Not really, no. And it's kind of weird because you would think that it would have been used more often after Indiana Jones, but I think like people just kind of all agreed like we can't copy it. Like that's Indy's thing now.
It's kind of Indiana Jones's thing, yeah, but like I can't think of any other character who utilizes a whip as a weapon. So
not really like whip, but kind of Nathan Drake does like grappling hook whip-esque things in
which is different.
Uncharted 4, but it's a grappling hook, it's not a whip.
There's something cool about the whip though, because like in the Mask of Zorro, you have the scene where like Anthony Hopkins, like the original Zorro, is like just putting out candles with a whip, and that's such a cool fucking visual of like whip crack and just snuffs out the candles. Or of course Catwoman, we have who played Catwoman? Michelle Pfeiffer, where she actually knocks the heads off of like 3 mannequins at once with the whip, and there's that great behind the scenes footage from like the movie she's in, and all the crew just lose their shit.
Yeah, it's like everyone's obviously silent for the scene, but you just get that moment of silence where the take is good, make sure we don't fuck it up, and then like, oh my god, like yes,
everyone loses their shit.
Did it.
It's a cool weapon. It's also as well, I love like the whip crack. Do you know what that's caused by?
Oh yeah, it's essentially a sonic boom, right?
Yes.
Like a miniature sonic boom.
Because the end of the whip, because of the way that you like the motion of cracking a whip, the end of the whip after like because of the amount of force that's exerted on it as it travels along the length of the whip is so much, and it breaks the sound barrier. So the whip crack is a miniature sonic boom, and that's why like whips are so dangerous. If you can get someone with that tiny little like that hitbox, it's the smallest hitbox ever. It's like a Smash style like hitbox, like Marth's like sword hitbox.
It's similar to what's his name, Simon or Richter, right?
Yeah,
where they've got the chain whip.
You hit him with the tip of that whip, and it can cause damage.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's also as well like such a skillful weapon because it's so unwieldy because it's fluid.
Yeah, I love the sound of it, and it is. If you get like a big solid whip, that is a surprisingly loud noise.
Well, I think too, there's a video out there of someone like with this really, it's like a 50-foot long, like really heavy chain used for like on a building site or something, and the guy just runs with the chain and then pulls it back, and you see
yeah.
momentum carries the chain all the way along, and at the end it goes whoosh, it just destroys like a fucking like telephone pole.
That looks like it would just like shred your ankles off.
It's the Ankle Annihilator, yeah. And it's like, where's that superhero? The Ankle Annihilator. But no, we continue with his powers now. High intelligence, master acrobat, master combatant, expert tactician, and a master horseman. And his horse, you might not know his horse, but he has a very famous and trusty steed. Jet black, fast as the night, tornado. It's Tornado.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, the prototypical just cool full black horse that's like, yep, that's the one that always has the extra speed stat, right?
It does, yeah. Like, it's like a black horse is the equivalent of a red car. Its colour makes it go faster. Right? It's like, do you like whenever like you play like Grand Theft Auto, you always steal a red car because red go faster?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. It's like when you get like that jet black, like ebony stallion, you know it goes faster because it looks cooler.
And, you know, interesting thing about the colour red, obviously talking about cars, like, there is a study out there to say that red for, like, sports is a better colour than other colours.
Yeah,
it like ingratiates confidence within people, and you're more likely to succeed playing in red.
This is all subconscious, like psychology stuff, so it's not something you can never really notice. But it is like observable that teams that wear red uniforms tend to win more.
Mm-hmm. And tend to be more confident in the play, yeah.
Yeah, it's similar to like blue is a calming colour, and there's been studies shown before of like areas where people, like bridges, people throw themselves off of bridges. There was like one in Japan, I believe, where they painted it blue, and they noticed a marked like downturn in the amount of people who did that.
Sure.
And they could only, the only thing that changed is we painted it blue, and it has a calming effect on people. But, you know, we get back to Zorro now. So, biography. Zorro debuted in McCulley's 1919 story, The Curse of Capistrano, serialised in 5 parts in the pulp magazine All Story Weekly.
Did you say 1919 then?
1919, yes. At the denouement, Zorro's true identity is revealed to all.
So, I don't remember the exact years on it. Does that mean, like, Zorro's in the public domain, or would that mean Zorro's been in the public domain for quite a while?
It's probably one of those things where Zorro's in the public domain, but there's probably like a variant of Zorro that's not, similar to like Winnie the Pooh.
Or
like
Mickey
Winnie the Pooh's in the public domain,
like
but the Disney version wearing the shirt isn't.
Yeah, like the Mickey Mouse, like Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse is public domain, so you've got to make sure that it's specific to that outfit and style of Mickey Mouse and things like that.
I'm not too clued in on how the rights work, but I'd imagine being over 100 years ago, Zorro is in the public domain. And when I was watching like The Mask of Zorro with Antonio Banderas, something that struck me is, this is a really fun movie. Why have they not made another Zorro? Because one of the things that like struck me is, one, obviously it looks good because it's from like 20 years ago, so it's actual real sets, real stunts. Like, you have real horses, real, like, not real swords, but real fights with people with swords. Often, like, multiple people, like, going across an entire scene. Like, there's a great fight scene in, like, a stable.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, Zorro's fighting, like, 20, 30 dudes, and he's, like, slicing up things, and, like, canopies are falling down, and horses are running around, knocking people over, and there's cannons going off. Like, this is awesome. And it reminded me, because the film I watched straight afterwards, because I was in, like, a really, like, swashbuckly mood. I watched, like, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
And I just, like, again, the sword fights in that are super fun. It's like, we don't really have swashbuckle films anymore with, like, pirates and, like, fencers. But they're really fun.
Even, like, the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise kind of went way more into immediately like supernatural high fantasy kind of stuff, right?
I mean, it was that from the start, but I kind of liked, even though you had like the pirates that were all skeletons and like zombie skeletons, you still had like the one-to-one fights, like the fights in like Captain Jack and Will Turner, just in the blacksmiths, and it's just he picking up all the different swords, and then he picks up like the blacksmiths tongs that's like on fire
and stuff like that.
Sorry, the poker, yeah. And I thought that's really fun.
It's a
I would
really
like another
fun
movie
fight.
like this.
It's such a creative fight. Like, it's not just a, typical just back and forth fencing match or whatever. It is utilizing, like, the whole workshop really well. And, obviously, as you say, the skeleton pirates, but it's still ostensibly about pirates and swashbuckling.
Yes, and when I was watching Zorro, like, again, it's like everything's practical because it had to be back then. Like presumably there's some matte paintings, maybe some minor special effects or CG effects. Well, for the most part, all real sets. And one of the things I really liked, because I was watching it in my head thinking, I'm going to watch this as if I'm watching a Batman movie, which is Batman with a sword. And I have never watched any of the Batman movies where I believe that Batman could beat up 50 people. Even in like the Arkham games, I'm still like, but these guys have got guns. One of them could walk up and just shoot Batman in the back of the head. He's not that fucking good.
That's the thing, is they all come at you one by one, so it doesn't really feel realistic, because, as you say, 20 men surrounding Batman could just pull out their shotguns and shoot all at the same time.
Yeah, and I know, like, oh, Batman's just that good. But when I'm watching these, and these are practical fight scenes, it's not like that warehouse fight scene in the Zack Snyder movie where it's like, it's just a CGI mess, like, and you can't fucking tell what's going on.
I mean, I will give credit to that warehouse scene. Obviously, it's almost like one for one in a lot of it, pulled from the Dark Knight Returns. No, like it's a lot of the shots are like from the Dark Knight Returns comic book, right?
Like a lot of the takedowns are from the games.
Yeah, they're very similar, and Batman defo kills people in there. But I actually do think that's a really well done fight scene. To be fair,
I like that Batman's taking advantage of the environment, but there's a really great fight scene in Zorro where it's like, just like I said, 20 dudes are fighting Zorro, but because they've all got swords and there is a specific distance at which they can actually hurt Zorro. Even though he's outnumbered, he's always got the upper hand thanks to his skills and his his ingenuity.
Yeah, and I've not watched this movie since I was a kid, like the Antonio Banderas one, right? And
yeah,
I don't know exactly how it's set up, but you could argue that 20 guys could just bum rush Zorro and all stab
They could, yeah, but like during the fights, he takes advantage of his environment. He's like slicing like stuff down to like distract people, and it was a really well done fight scene, and I couldn't see any like you see the gaps in a fight scene, like I don't know, it's The Last Jedi. It's a visually stylistic, visually impressive and stylistically framed fight scene, but you can often spot like the Imperial guards in the back just not moving,
just waiting for their cue. Yeah,
but there's none of that in this movie.
It kind of, in my memory, it felt very similar to kind of the Hollywood Jackie Chan movies of the time.
Yeah.
In terms of like the way that it's kind of impressive, practically done kind of comedy-esque fight scenes.
And in those fight scenes, like again, Jackie Chan's, there's 20 dudes surrounding him, but during those fight scenes, Jackie Chan will generally do something that scares away people. Like he'll pick up like a ladder, or he'll throw like a big piece of the environment at people. And it's obviously, it's not going to hurt people, but you're naturally going to want to get out of the way of someone throwing like a big ladder at you.
Yeah,
and that's what Zorro does. He's constantly making sure he's picking people out of the crowd, and then every time like he gets overwhelmed, he like runs out, he moves, takes advantage of the environment, causes like a big like kerfuffle, like knocks something down to like scare people away, or he'll push someone into a group with their friends.
Yeah, and that's just good choreography, right?
Good choreography, yeah.
Figuring out ways to have him realistically fight that many people, but only be fighting them one or two at a time.
But also at the same time, I think that would establish a legend.
Oh yeah,
did you hear when Zorro went into the bad guys' stable, stole their best horse, and beat up 50 dudes?
Mm-hmm.
But we go back to the wiki now. So in response to public demand fueled by the film, so there was a Mask of Zorro film. The Mark of Zorro film made in 1920. So 1 year after the first pulp novel was released, they already made a movie. Hollywood moved fast back then.
Wow, yeah.
They moved fast. So in response to public demand fueled by that film, Macaulay wrote more than 60 Zorro stories, beginning in 1922. The last, The Mask of Zorro, not to be confused with the 1998 film, was published posthumously in 1959. So he wrote Zorro stories for basically 40 straight years.
I mean, you've got to respect these authors who just crank the novels out, right?
Agatha Christie, right?
Yeah.
She wrote a new book every year, and even though she's one of the most famous novelists of all time, she was keenly aware of that, because this is before, bookshops were all that popular and people would continue to buy, but people only bought the new one, then just kind of didn't reread or rebuy one. She's I had to write a new book every year.
Yeah. And obviously we've mentioned in the past as well, Stephen King, extremely prolific, and then when you find out that, he also wrote a bunch of novels that weren't even written under the not pseudonym, he had a pseudonym that wasn't Stephen King. Yeah. Right, yeah.
Like Dick Bachman, there we go.
And yeah, that was just hey, you've got a lot of other stories that aren't quite fitting with like the Stephen King brand of kind of more horror-y vibes. So any that don't, fit that vibe, you can release them under this name instead.
Mm-hmm. It's just this dude was cranking out Zorro stories, and like I'd hope that he liked Zorro, because imagine creating such an iconic character, such a cool character as well.
Well, I can never remember the name of the author. Didn't the person who wrote Sherlock Holmes kind of like stop enjoying writing Sherlock Holmes?
Arthur Conan Doyle, because he was more interested in like his like factual writing, and he was also into like supernatural shit.
But at the same time, I'm sure he made some good bank off Sherlock Holmes.
Like, to the point where he killed Sherlock Holmes off and got hounded for 10 years straight, like, write more Sherlock Holmes stuff. And people would, like, trick their way into meeting with him of, like, I want to interview you about, like, this article you wrote about ghosts or something. Would turn up and go, tell me about, are you going to bring Sherlock Holmes back? It's like, fuck off. You can understand why he got pissed off, right? Of, like, he's known for one thing. Like, there's... Some people are okay with that. Some people are okay being a one-hit wonder or known for one thing. I guess I can speak to that. Like, I'm happy to be known for like Fact Fiend and Fact Fiend alone because hey, it bought my house. I'm cool with that. But there are other people who maybe resent it because they perhaps think that they're either
like I'm more than one gimmick kind of thing.
I'm more than one thing, or they see the thing that they created or got known for as beneath their other creative output. Like there's a couple of artists who've been like that who are like members of like we talked about Charlie from Busted, right? Where is he Busted or McFly? He was in either way. He was in a boy band.
Well, technically, I think sorry, I'm getting that wrong way around because like the drummer for McFly was secretly playing drums for like Busted without really being credited as like a band member. But yeah, Charlie is from Busted, and Charlie Simpson keeps like going out as like Charlie Simpson or making Fight Star, or then he's got a new one now which I can't remember the name of.
Exactly.
And yet every time it's like, yeah, but what about Busted though, Charlie? And he's like, oh.
Yeah, and I can understand his frustration, but at the same time, we talked like a couple episodes ago, like last year, of it's the fact that he acted like he was above it. And if you create something that iconic, that beloved, it feels so strange to hate it that much.
It does feel strange, but yeah, I guess like, we've not been in that situation, so it's hard to know.
We know. I can't imagine like how frustrating it'd be to be known for one thing. Like, I've experienced it on a very, very minor scale, but I've always been thankful for it because it paid my bills for years.
Yeah, and like I think we've been there, creatively. We've tried out different things to different levels of success.
I can see that, of like
it's really annoying. For example, when you think like, oh, I'm going to put out a video that I'm really proud of, and then one of the ones that you maybe not as proud of does way better than the one you like thought, man, that's the one that's going to hit.
Yeah, I guess like say for example, someone like I don't know, it was a one-hit wonder. Rick Astley.
Rick Astley's a good example, yeah.
Yeah, he's a fantastic singer. And I imagine there's parts of his like discography he feels are better than Never Gonna Give You Up. But I am a fan of his approach to Never Gonna Give You Up. Of when he's interviewed, like, are you going to play Never Gonna Give You Up at your concert? Of course I am. I'm promoting my new album, but I know there's a good chunk of people there to hear that one song. So why would I not play that song? Like, they paid for a ticket to see that song. A portion of that goes directly into my pocket. Of course, I'm going to play it for them. It's 3 minutes of my life, but for them, that might be the highlight of their day, week, or year.
And I get it's different in some circumstances when, for example, I know with Paramore, Hayley Williams for the longest time didn't want to sing, I can't remember, Misery Business. Just because she was like, hey, I don't really like the lyrics that I wrote. I think it's quite like demeaning. And then
she wrote it when she was 14. It's based on like a diary entry when she was 14, and the line is like, "You're a whore, nothing more," or something like that. It's a bit angsty.
it got to a point where I think she came full circle and was like, hey, actually, I was young and I regret, like, I wouldn't write that song now, but who gives a fuck? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to sing it. It's a good song.
I'm a different person now, but I can acknowledge that it's still a good song. Similar to we just had Christmas, Fairy Tale in New York.
Yeah.
Prior to his death, the lead singer of the Pogues was like, I don't like, and he would even call into radio stations who were like playing the uncensored version, telling them, I'm the singer, I don't sing I censor that word when I sing it live. I prefer it if you didn't play the version where it's something, because I'm not proud of it.
Yeah. And especially, I'm sure they're doubly not proud of the fact that that's the song that everyone plays just to be able to shout that one word. And it's like, that must leave a real sour note on a song that you're already not proud of.
Especially as well when, like, I forget the guy's name, but I know he was like a quite outspoken, liberally minded person. And to have like a song he wrote become like this lightning rod for the absolute most annoying fucking people in politics. But either way, that's besides the point. So moving on now to Zorro's skills and abilities. Zorro is an agile athlete and acrobat, using his bullwhip as a gymnastic accoutrement to swing through gaps between city roofs, and he's very capable of landing from great heights and taking a fall.
And obviously,
that's the thing, you can see it from Batman, right? With Batman with his grappling hook. You can see it in Zorro.
Yeah, definitely. I think that as well, like, just, I know that it's obviously from, like, not good kind of origins, but the fact that it's like specifically a bullwhip, it's like that thing's big enough and hits hard enough to, like, you know, be used against bulls, let alone humans.
Like, not everyone can be Marcel Yama and just punch that shit to death, so you got off the bullwhip.
And I did also double check earlier, by the way, and it does look like the earliest novels of Zorro are public domain, and like the original movie is, but a lot of it, you know, it's one of those. It depends when it's released.
The last one was coming out in the 50s, so that's still, I think it's 75 years. The life of the author plus 75 years, so give or take. Either way, his calculating and precise dexterity as a tactician is able to use his two main weapons, his sword and his bullwhip, as an extension of his deft hand. He never uses brute strength, more his fox-like sly mind, as well as well-practiced technique to outmatch any opponent.
I don't use brute strength. I just sonic boom a whip into your eyes.
Well, that's the thing they have in the Antonio Banderas one. They have like the big classic fight scene trope, like the big hulking guy walks in and like the main character punches him and he doesn't do anything. Zorro just picks up two cannonballs and just doosh either side of his head. Use your environment, right? Just like a fox. Like, use the environment to your advantage. You'd be stupid not to.
Yeah.
Like, when you're outmatched in a fight, there is like nothing off limits, right?
I mean, you know, speaking of Batman and the Dark Knight Returns, just like picking up those the giant like concrete crushers, right, and just using them as giant fucking boxing gloves. I
still think one of the absolute coldest Batman lines is in the Dark Knight Returns, and he's fighting Superman, and Superman just says to Batman, "Look, if it's not me, it's somebody else." And Batman says, "Who do they send after you?" And he's got a point, right? Who the fuck do you send after Superman?
I guess you gotta send the Flash.
That's the thing. It's like, who do you, like, he's right. Who are they going to send after you? If I beat you, what chance have they got? You're literally Superman.
What have they got after you?
In some versions, Zorro keeps a medium-sized dagger tucked into his boot for emergencies. He also has used his cape as a blind, a trip mat, and a disarming tool. That's the thing, is I love his cape, like whoosh, big swishy cape.
That's the thing. More things, right? Like he's got a Batman cape, he's got his tools, he's got his gadgets going on.
He's got his little utility belt.
Yeah. Like, that's one of those things that I'm sure I've heard that in the past and forgotten, but it is way more obvious an allusion to Zorro than I kind of put together.
Yeah, well, he mentions here, Lucas, even his hats, like his classic wide-brimmed hat, in some stories, it's weighted and can be thrown as a weapon. Or as a distraction for an opponent, because it's one of those things, it's almost like subconscious. If someone throws something at you, your subconscious reaction is to catch it, and Zorro's taking advantage of that, throws his hat, they catch it, bang, punch him in the balls.
The what's it called? Is it Kung Lao that throws the bladed hat, the rim
Kung
hat
Lao.
in Mortal Kombat? Just got that. That's a cool weapon. It's such an impractical weapon, but it's so cool.
It's an impractical weapon unless you build your entire fighting style around it. It's like you've probably seen all those like Shaolin weapons, like the meteor hammer, which is basically like a brick on a brick on a piece of rope, and it seems really unwieldy until you think if you just spend your entire life using that, similar to a whip. A whip is an incredibly unwieldy weapon that is so like you must have absolute mastery over that weapon for it to be better than just a sword, because a sword you can just go. Like, you don't even need to be trained to be good, like, use a sword in a deadly manner. You just point it at the person. A whip requires so much more skill.
And that's one advantage, right? Is if someone disarms you and takes a sword, then they've got a sword and you don't. But if someone steals something like a whip, which takes a lot more skill to use, they're probably not likely to be able to do much with it against you.
Also, the range on a whip as well would be crazy. Like, if people are just coming at you like fencing sabers or cavalry swords, you've got like 10, 15 feet on them in some cases. But Zorro is a skilled horseman. The name of his jet black horse has varied through the years. In the Curse of Capistrano, it was unnamed. In later version, the horse was named Tornado, Tornado, or Tempest. In other versions, however, Zorro rides a white steed named Phantom.
See, Phantom I associate more with what would be a dark horse, not
I guess like Ghost
white
White
horse. But yeah, either way, some goddamn cool names.
Yeah, and one of the cool things is in for that Mask of Zorro film with Antonio Banderas, there is a book, a novelization of the book. There's a novelization of the film. And basic premise, for anyone who doesn't remember or hasn't seen it, is the original Zorro, Anthony Hopkins, is he's defeated. Like his last outing as Zorro, he gets found out. The big bad tracks into his home, sends him to prison, kills his wife, kidnaps his daughter. And like many, many, many years later, Antonio Banderas encounters the elderly Zorro after his escape from prison, and that Zorro, the original Zorro, agrees to train him. Like he's very, like I said, Batman, right? He sees a successor. It's like, you will be the new Zorro. Zorro is a mantle I will pass on. And the Antonio Banderas he talks about your steed Tornado, and they see like this stallion being dragged through the market by like some soldiers, because that looks just like your horse. And he goes, a beautiful animal. Turns out in the novel, that is the direct descendant of the original Tornado.
Oh, right.
In the novel, they say when like Zorro was arrested and his house burnt down, Tornado the horse went on like this fucking horse quest to try and track him down. And when it couldn't find Zorro, just fathered a bunch of children in the wilderness, one of which is the horse that Antonio Banderas rides.
What a silly idea, but yeah.
The idea that, Zorro always needs a tornado.
Or
the
Tempest.
idea of, like, the noblest of steeds.
I do like the idea of riding Tempest.
Yeah. Like, cool. Okay, what's the best, like, animal sidekick, then, for a superhero? Because, like, Tornado, or even, like, best horse. Because Tornado's a fucking good horse. I
mean, I think if you go in, like, proper stats-wise, I think it's got to be it's Shadowmere, is it?
Shadowmere, yeah, in Skyrim and Oblivion, I believe.
Yeah, where it's just this like level 99 nigh unstoppable being that can like take out dragons.
Yeah, it's like Shadowmere, the invincible vampire horse. I still love as well one of the greatest like mission prompts in a game is in Skyrim when you get Shadowmere, and your mission isn't collect Shadowmere, it's behold Shadowmere. Behold. There's some like awesome like beast pimp horses out there. There's Epona.
No, Epona's a great one.
Epona's a great horse. Or like the absolute just number one with a bullet from a video game is Aggro.
Yeah,
Shadow the Colossus, the biggest big dick pimp horse in gaming.
The most heroic of hero horses.
Is there a bigger hero horse moment than when, like, in the final mission of Shadow the Colossus, the bridge collapses and Aggro
we won't say any more for those who haven't experienced it.
But go play Shadow of the Colossus. It's fucking awesome. It's just Aggro.
It has an excellent remaster on PS4 as well. Yeah.
One day we should talk about that live-action movie they were gonna make.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, it was all like a script got leaked and it is dire.
I mean, what a bad movie to make, or what a bad game to make a movie out of, where the whole point is that it's essentially silence. Like, you're meant to, like, just live and breathe in that world and, like, take in the ambience.
Do you know who could be a really, really... Oh, do you know who could make a really good Shadow of the Colossus, like, adaptation? Genndy Tartakovsky, who made, like, Dexter's Lab and Samurai Jack. He made that show Primal, which is near entirely silent, and it's about a guy like 10,000 BC. He could make a really, really good like Shadow of the Colossus adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
Or Michael Bay.
Yeah. No, Michael Bay.
So if you're gonna fuck it up, fuck it all the way up, right?
You just get like explosions every time you stab one of the colossi.
No, get Zack Snyder, and he's just like, no, the colossi were always, always bad, and there's no nuance or subtlety to them at their existence.
They are evil, they deserve to die.
And he'd like get like, what is it, the band We Are Giants to play one of their songs every time one appears. But no, there's some trivia to end on here, Lucas. So there's one major bit of trivia that's worth noting here, as I alluded to earlier. While Superman popularized the concept of the superhero and established many of the typical superhero tropes, Zorro is considered by many to be the archetype of the modern American superhero, as he debuted in a pulp novel 2 decades before Superman appeared in the comic books, thus making one of the oldest superheroes still in publication. His influence on the genre includes a secret identity, a hidden lair, and a masked costume.
Oh, I didn't remember that Zorro had a hidden lair.
Yeah, it's the cave of the fox, the foxhole. That's like, can we talk about like hidden lairs of like, is it Green Arrow, right, where he's got the Arrow Cave?
Oh yeah.
And just Harley Quinn's like, that's a stupid fucking name for your secret base. Like, what would you call it? The Quiver, dipshit. That's where Arrow's going. He's like, damn, that's a good name.
It's a fuck.
I like that he admits that, yeah, that's a better name.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So it's called the Bat Cave. Just bats live in caves. Arrows don't live in caves, asshole.
You fucking idiot. Oh, that's the thing. Oliver Queen might have, similar levels of money. He doesn't have the intelligence that Bruce does. Oh, man.
I can you imagine if Bruce Wayne... Like, what animal would have been funny if Bruce Wayne got, like, attacked by, like, a badger? Like, he fell in that, like, well and a badger got him.
Honey badger, though.
Oh, it becomes Honey Badger Man.
Honey Badger Man, it sounds terrifying.
And then he has that belt and it summons all the honey badgers. It's so
what do you do with just thousands of honey badgers just descend upon you?
Just 40. Not even that many, it's a couple.
Just like 2, yeah.
Do you see there was that video of like someone got of an elephant walking through like the savannah and a honey badger runs up and attacks it and the elephant kicks it and it goes like 30 feet through the air and then the honey badger starts chasing the elephant.
It's like, you fucked up now.
It squares up something that weighs like 80,000 pounds more than it does.
Oh, yeah. True heroes. True, just like, savages.
It's like they've found like people exploring like the Canadian wilderness. It's like sometimes like grizzly bears get attacked by wolverines, which weigh like 8 pounds, and they jump on the grizzly bear's back and just don't let go.
God, I saw something not long ago, and it was that there was like a dog rescue place that was like, oh hey, look at these dogs that we got. They're definitely like some kind of German Shepherd Husky mix. And every comment was, no, they're just wolves. They are wild wolves. How did wild wolves just get into the middle of England? What is happening?
It's like, isn't it? Like, was it XL bullies? And people are like crossbreeding XL bullies with Dachshunds. It's like, why would you create the toddler cruise missile? It's like, it's not the perfect height to annihilate a toddler. Stop it.
Our friend sent an image of one into the group chat recently. It's just an XL bully, but the perfect height of like the toddler's
so
knees
low.
now.
Its center of gravity is so low it can get under. It's so low that it can get under the safety gate, and it's terrifying.
It's coming for your kids.
It's like, what would you not? Okay, what animal do you not see as being scary, but you think would be scary if you got attacked by like 100 of them at once? Similar to like the bat thing. Like if one bat flew into my room right now, I'd probably be like, oh, that's a bat. I want to get out.
It'd stress you out, but you wouldn't be worried for your life.
But if 1,000 bats came in, like in Batman Begins, I'd be like, that's it. It's game over.
You hear a knock at your door, open it, it's just, no.
You won't even hear the knock, they come through the letterbox. Right? You just open the letterbox. What would it be? Because I'm thinking like Dachshunds. Because I reckon like your Dachshunds, I've like when they're getting excited and they run into your ankles, like you feel like you're almost being like nudged a little bit. But you know what they say, like 8 inches of water moving at a certain speed could knock you off your feet. I reckon like an entire floor's worth of dash-ons could take me out. And I'd just be down.
Just the sausage dog squad is here.
Yeah, because there's some weight on them.
There can be. I mean, bear in mind, Caden Oryx are miniatures. They are probably a third of the size of what a regular is.
And they're really low, they're like perfect ankle height.
Yeah. I don't know, I've always been scared of the idea. It's like obviously used in media every now and then of just like the swarm of rats.
Oh, that'd be bad.
The swarm of rats, like I think of A Plague Tale, right, where you see basically waves worth of rats coming at people.
I think of like, is it you mentioned Puss in Boots, one of the Puss in Boots movies where they have like the Pied Piper and he surfs on the rats.
Oh right,
he's like he comes in, he's surfing on like all these rats. I think it's like Shrek Forever After, maybe one of the Shrek movies.
But that's it's kind of like Iceman, right, or Frozone, where just like shooting out the ice and running on that, but instead it's just a wave of rats that you're riding on. Just,
like what Suicide Squad, right, with Ratcatcher?
Yeah,
where
exactly.
It's like, you control rats. How's that powerful? Have you any idea how many rats there are in any given city at any given moment? And they're just all crawling. It's like Starro the Conqueror's eyes and eating from within. It's like, oh.
And I think it's Bloodsport, is it? They're just like, oh, I am terrified of rats. Please leave me alone. Idris Elba's character. And yeah, I think as well, it's a really cool power-up in the Dishonored game, right? Where I don't know whether it's in Dishonored 1 and 2, but at least one of them, where you can just, at any point, just summon a few rats to just, like, eat someone, and they're just a skeleton now.
Well, that's the thing, rats are
kind
terrifying.
of the idea of, like, piranhas, right? But at least piranhas can get you... I know piranhas aren't meant to actually be like that in real life, it's just a fictional thing.
Like, extremely, extremely hungry. And it's like shark attacks. They do attack people, but it's
not
the
common.
Exception, not the norm,
It's not what they would do under regular circumstance. But yeah, just at least the piranhas can only get you in the water. The rats can just, again, how many rats are anywhere in a city at a given moment?
Well, they say, like, if you're walking at like street level, you're never more than 6 foot away from a rat.
If you actually keep your eye out in corners and stuff, there are just rats everywhere.
They're really, because they're really quick.
Yeah.
That's it probably won't be a rat, but that's a Zorro, aka the Fox. And Lucas, we're going to move on to your wiki now, or would you like to do a quick break?
We'll take a quick break and come back with some housekeeping, and then we can go into my wiki, yeah?
No problem. So, Lucas, we have returned. Before we get into your wiki, do you have any housekeeping to announce for the people at home? Because I think the first thing to mention is this podcast. You're not going to see these every week for the foreseeable future. We're hoping to stagger our weekly Wiki Weekdays podcast with the Wiki Quickies, which is a format that we trialed last year, really enjoyed, but just couldn't find space for in the schedule.
Yeah, essentially just like at the moment, we both have quite a lot of things going on because like, the channel's not doing quite as well the last couple of months, so we've got extra responsibilities to try and like cover our backs and stuff, and therefore like adding more into our schedule for this seems to be a bit counterintuitive, but we're hoping that like we can both have our cake and eat it in this way.
Yeah, as I said, it's an interesting format of I like as well the name, just Wiki Quickies. I like Wiki Quickies as a format, but Wiki Weekends we have to do those on a weekend. Wiki Weekdays, well, that can realistically be any weekday, but Wednesday feels nice because I like that alliteration of Wiki Weekdays on Wednesday.
And also just it fits nicely in the middle of the week after the weekend videos.
Exactly, yeah, because something like a mistake a lot of channels make when they're trying to like expand or grow is put too much content out. Also, just going to pull back the curtain on this a little, Lucas edits all of the podcasts. It's not much editing compared to a regular video, but it's still some. And it's been like a year and a half of you doing all that editing, and I felt that I should probably take some of that off your plate, so I'll be editing Wiki Quickies. So it allows myself and Lucas to better split the workload behind the scenes, which has not been an issue that we've like found, but just for the sake
No,
of just making
it's
sure
not like I sat there complaining to Karl about it, but it's just something that you were like, hey, how can I try and even things out a little bit?
Yeah, and the hope would be that me taking like that small amount of work off your plate, plus as well like the pressure to make a podcast, which is like 2-3 hours we have to like carve out each and every week, it being every other week, effectively frees up 2 to 3 hours for other projects, because we're hoping to work on other things for the channel, for the Patreon, because something else we have to announce is...
just a general like rejig of the Patreon is coming up, so it'll more likely be kind of announced and changed over February, because we realised that, hey, January is probably a pretty tight month for everyone as is. We don't really want to put like even more pressure on people to support us during what is generally considered like the month where no one has any money.
Not to mention it's a catch-up month for us anyway. We like to get ahead.
It is anyway, yeah. But yeah, we just figured like, give it, that little start of the year, get a nice, chill, slow start, get back into things, and then we're going to announce some changes to the Patreon, because we kind of, last time we did it, we mentioned this like at the end of last year, we kind of jigged it towards what our goals were and not necessarily what the community necessarily wanted out of Wiki Weekends.
And what people have responded to content-wise that we've put out. So we've, like, behind the scenes rejigged that. We'll be doing that slowly over the course of this month, and then towards the end of the month, either in a podcast or a separate video. Just keep an eye out for us announcing the changes to the podcast, our goal, changes to the Patreon, like some changes to the channel, like mentioned, the Wiki Quickies, and just like our goals going forward for the type of content we're going to keep making and hoping to make.
Yeah, and the hope is that by like having a bit more free time with things like, not necessarily doing the podcast every week, then we can pivot a bit more into like, hey, every now and then we're going to like release some Patreon exclusive videos and things like that, and offer a bit more value on that side, because while we don't like to pressure people into kind of wanting to go over to the Patreon and support us that way, just viewing the channel is much appreciated, and, giving likes and all that jazz. But we also had a discussion, and it's like, we're also not giving much value to the people that are over there supporting us.
Yeah, and in that vein, something we've been doing over the past like week or so, and you'll start to notice more and more of going up, is when we're editing videos, generally when it gets like there's a copyright issue, or like if one runs long, we normally edit it down or remove that over the course of like however many edits it takes to winnow it down to something YouTube doesn't want to steal our money for. We're just going to take those original edits and put those onto our Patreon. We're also taking audio of our videos going forward, including the Wiki Quickies, so you can have them like this podcast and just listen to them. Because we know a lot of people watch our videos in the background or listen to them, like with YouTube Premium. But if you're a Patreon supporter, you'll be able to just, going forward, you're going to upload them like as a batch, like so a big batch at the end of each month, like here's all the audio.
No, that wouldn't be the plan, but I think there will be like a batch when we change things over in February. Like there'll be an initial just release of like, hey, here's like January's videos that are all audio versions as a batch, and then just like going forward, it'll probably just be on the same day that the video releases, like an audio version will go up on the same day.
Because you handle that behind the scenes. You're like, Luke's, again, pulled back the curtain. Luke's is the one who handles like the YouTube side of like making the thumbnail, putting the tags and all that stuff, because that is a responsibility we could share, but sharing the responsibility would not actually save any time. It would just mean that it would take both of us the same amount of time it takes you now.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just one of those things. We, like as we said, we don't want to get too into the weeds of like the details just yet. We'll talk more about that in the coming month. But like, yeah,
that's one thing I thought I'd mention, because they've started going up right. We've had a couple of like longer episodes go up on the Patreon, and
yeah, like there was that episode that I did on Physical 100, and I was like, I don't think many people are going to click on this video as is, let alone if it's an hour and a half long nearly. So just for the sake of trying to not create our viewership, it was like, hey, I've cut quite a big chunk of this out, but there's like an extra, I think it was like 26 or 27 minutes in the Patreon exclusive version.
Yeah, and not every video is going to be that much longer, but one of the value adds that I think people will appreciate, because we do get a lot of feedback about people listening to our videos, like background noise or just to go to sleep, is just the audio versions, which are just less like data intensive. So you'll be able to, can you download on Patreon? Will it let you download them, or is it going to be a playlist? I'm not sure how it works behind the scenes.
I'll have to double check, because the last couple of times I've like subscribe to Patreon exclusive stuff, it's like they just get an RSS feed, which I've been able to like then just attach to like my YouTube Music or Spotify and stuff like that.
Fair enough. I don't like
I'll
use
look
anything
into
like that.
how that works specifically. I've not done that previously on the back end of Patreon, but we'll figure it out.
And I guess one last thing to like mention is that if there are any artists out there,
yes,
go to our Discord, found link below, and just reach out to us like privately if you would like to work with us and collaborate with us on some ideas we have going forward. But more will be said about that as and when we have the details.
I think we can like probably specify to help people, right?
Okay, go for it.
So like we had a joke in one of the it was the video that we talked about the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, right?
Yes.
And we kind of put it out there during like the middle of a joke of like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be funny to have like the Sisterhood of Evil Lesbians? And then we were like, oh wait, that would be a cool merch idea. So the idea is like, yeah, we want to work with like some artists in the community to maybe come together and come up with some merch ideas for revolving around that kind of theme.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. But, like I said, more will be revealed as and when we have the details.
I think we just don't like to talk a big game before we've done things, right?
It's the absolute worst thing you can do, right, is I've seen them. I've probably even been guilty of it in the past.
I'm sure we have
big
been,
plans for the upcoming year, fucking nothing uploaded for a year.
Mm-hmm. It's similar to like one of the mistakes we made last year, right? We said, hey, we're going to try and get a guest on every month on the podcast, not realizing how untenable like a goal that actually is for a channel of our size, because most people we don't have the clout to really get enough people's attention.
There's also as well as the fact that most channels that are big enough, they usually have someone who handles all that. They have like an admin person who, for example, handles like reaching out to people or merch.
Yeah, we don't have a team. We are the team.
Maybe one day we'll have a team. What will we call our team?
Maybe one day. The Wiki Wankers.
On it. Right, let's go. So, Lucas, Wiki Wankers, what is your wiki you brought forward for this week?
Well, yeah, speaking of Wiki Wankers, Karl, I have got a Wikipedia page here, and the Wikipedia page is for the video game series Animal Crossing. And
okay, so this is where like real gamers tune in now. All those casual gamers who play like COD and Halo and Fortnite, you fuck off.
Yeah, the
real gamer time.
The people playing just Madden and FIFA every year, you're not needed here.
Like, I'm being facetious there, but Animal Crossing is a game for real gamers.
I think Animal Crossing is a more hardcore game.
It is. It requires so much more of a commitment of time, energy, and like just self.
And like, it doesn't have to be, but I think if you're going to become a real Animal Crossing player, you end up putting the hours in.
It's similar to like the park builder games, like your theme park world or Roller Coaster Tycoon or like that Jurassic Park one. You can be Mr. Boring and go in and build like I'm going to min-max this. I don't have customers. I have ants with wallets.
Yeah.
I'm going to like build like the single roller coaster and charge like $100 to get on it. Mm-hmm. That's not how you play those games.
No, it's funny how there's one side of the kind of, quote-unquote gaming community that treats games like Animal Crossing and cozy games and stuff as, The Sims, things like that, as not being like gamers games and things like that. But I genuinely think most cozy life sim games and things like this usually end up requiring, or not requiring, but getting a lot more out of people. Like, the amount of people that are like, oh yeah, I've got thousands of hours in Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley or something, whereas, oh no, I just play the new COD every year.
It's because if you want to play those games how they're intended to be played, like, obviously there's no correct way to play a game. If the intended way to play an Animal Crossing or one of the, as I said, cozy game, is it requires creativity. Mm-hmm. And some people out there just aren't creative. Like, some people out there don't want to build the Hot Wheels track with like the loops in it. They build a fucking oval and sit there and go, "This is boring. I want to play something else." Yeah. Like, that's the thing. I've seen like the people playing like those builder sim games, like Sim City or something like that, and they build a fucking square. and go, well, my city's burning down. It's like you have to think about where you're going to place like your hospitals, your police. You have to like zone areas. You have to think about your taxes. So I don't want to think about that. So what do you mean you don't want to think?
Yeah, or you could like, make fun micro challenges and games for yourself out of things like that, right? Of
it's like The Sims, isn't it? Yeah.
Make The Sims and just do wild, crazy things with it. And even Animal Crossing, which we're going to get into properly in a minute. I saw recently just a TikTok of someone had gotten their village entirely like down to all of their villages of the horses.
Oh yeah, and it's like people go for the ethno state.
They set up like a horse race gate system, had them all trapped in these horse gates, and then set it to like the New Year's Eve time when they all need to rush to the town hall. And then unleashed all of the horses and, like, through a racetrack, saw who won to race to the centre of town first.
I love stuff like that, where people create games within a game. And that's the thing, like, it requires creativity. Like, the amount of people I've encountered who talk about, The Sims is boring, you don't do anything. It's like, well, it's a sandbox. You play in a sandbox. And all I can think is, like, a toddler sitting in a sandbox of, like, well, nothing's happening. You have to do something for something to happen.
Yeah, and obviously Animal Crossing New Horizons on the Switch. I'm not specifically talking about the game, I'm talking about the series in general, but there were so many viral, social media posts and stuff where people would take the photo studio aspect, where you just like, you're essentially setting up a little scene and you can call your villagers in and things like that. And I never really interacted with that part of the game. I was like, oh, that's cute. Did a couple of like wedding photo shoots and stuff like that and just called it a day. But then some people, I saw one where it was like them recreating a Brooklyn Nine-Nine scene within Animal Crossing.
People do it as a challenge. They use it almost as like a canvas in which to paint. Like I think of Blasian. We had Blasian on and she was like really into The Sims. We had an episode on The Sims and she's like really big on The Sims and probably one of the most knowledgeable people I'm aware of about The Sims as a series.
Yes.
Like she talks about how there are like people out there who make a living, a good living, just being really good at making Sims, because it is a skill to make a good-looking Sim. Like, for example, like, replicating a celebrity, or in some cases, an individual. It's akin to someone, like, requesting fan art from an artist. It's just the medium they use is The Sims. It's fascinating. It's commendable.
One game I'm really looking forward to coming out and doing that with is the Switch is getting a Tamagotchi Life sequel.
That game, I'm scared to play, because I like these games, but I know that I'll become obsessed. Like, I used to love The Sims, and I every now and again I think, well, Sims is like, you can get The Sims like £3. But then I know I'm never going to get any work done.
I cannot wait to get into the Mii Maker, make a bunch of my favourite anime characters, then, like, me, you, and a bunch of friends, and just have, like, anime / my real friend's life on Tamagotchi Life.
I think
just see the weird interactions.
Like we mentioned in the housekeeping of like ideas for potential future videos. This is not a promise that we're going to do this, but an idea we had like years ago was to create something akin to that and have our like fans like on Patreon like put their name in and we'll make a Tamagotchi thing for them and like make a mini series of me and you narrating the adventures of the city. Not like a full series, but like as a bonus video of like, hey, if you're on a Patreon, give us a name, give us some personality traits, we'll create that, and then me and Lucas will narrate the video of it happening.
I still remember a similar thing that I did on Twitch when streaming Cult of the Lamb. They had Twitch integration.
Yes.
And that means that people in chat on Twitch were able to, use points in the chat or whatever to start submitting their usernames to become villagers within the town. And it's like a proper depraved Animal Crossing-esque little village where all of these characters start being like tributed to the god that you're worshipping in the cult, and they start eating poop and things like this, and just you'll get these weird wacky stories, and it just adds that extra element of but these are all named after the people that are interacting with your channel.
And that's the thing of like a game like that would be really interesting to do, like a little bonus video for our fans and encourage and show appreciation for that fan support we get. 'Cause I've seen Tamagotchi Life. I only know vaguely broad strokes that it's like a city life sim.
Yeah, but then
It's
like
weird as fuck.
It goes super weird, and it looks like the Switch one's going even weirder and more dream state like. But
And this is why I don't want to know much about it. 'Cause I would really love for us to do that idea and
but not really.
Me going as blind as possible.
I've only seen like a few funny clips, but I love the idea of that game, and I'm so upset that I ended up missing out on the 3DS version of like, oh, I never really knew what this game was. It just kind of flew by, but when they announced the Switch one, I was like, oh, I'm so down. And I've seen things where it's like, oh yeah, just you'll have your means in your Tamagotchi life, and all of a sudden then a news reporter reporting on weird, wacky things that are happening in the world, and it's weird, stupid, like cringy AI voices and stuff. And it's just a fever dream that I'm really excited to talk.
Exactly, and I want to go in as blind as possible for that theoretical video we can make. I think that could be really fun. I hope it'd be fun for the audience who'd support us and want to see themselves in Tamagotchi life and have myself and you commentate over their various shenanigans. But tell me more about Animal Crossing. So what's the origins of this game? 'Cause it's so weird, but I love it.
Yeah. Animal Crossing, similar to something like Tamagotchi Life, but maybe a bit more dialed back, is a social simulation video game series developed and published by Nintendo. It was created by Katsuya Iguchi and Hisashi Nogami, and the player character is a human who lives in a village inhabited by various anthropomorphic animals and can engage in various activities such as fishing, insect catching, and fossil hunting.
And what is your favourite like activity in the game? Because I've seen like the fishing, because I'm a huge fan of fishing minigames. This is known. Like a series, again, potentially other videos we might do, is like Fishing Fridays, where myself and you go find fishing minigames inside of video games and play them. How involved is the fishing?
So the fishing isn't super involved, but what is quite involved is the level of fish available.
Yeah, I've seen that it's to the point where don't you have like specifically during like autumn, you'll get different fish as you would in winter and so on and so forth.
The game is both seasonal and played in real time. So nighttime, noon, daytime, things like that. They also affect what fish you can find. Whether they're found in open water or rivers affects what fish you can find. And also the seasons affect what fish you can find. So there are batches of fish that you can only find during, one of the seasons, like winter or whatever.
And of course, you can just jump into your like internal clock and just teleport through time.
Of course, you can time travel if you want to.
That's not playing the game properly.
But it is for some people.
For some people it is. Again, min-maxers. I'm not the biggest min-maxer fan.
Judge. I'm not a min-maxer either. I don't really use time travel. I did, socially engineer the turnip game during Animal Crossing New Horizons, where we had like a 15-person group chat, all on like a fucking sock trade binge, apparently.
I do some things like, there's some, like, min-maxing, I don't really enjoy it. But I can see its appeal in some aspects. Like I'm playing like Monster Hunter Wilds at the moment. And it's like I'm trying to upgrade my armor. I'm just running out of money. What is the single most efficient run I can do to get the most amount of money? Because I'm just sick of running out of money. I get it in that sense.
Yeah, min-maxing money is one thing that I'm not really against in games. But I don't min-max much else. Like I'm not the type of person that goes, well, look at this cute mushroom furniture that I can only get in autumn. I'm going to time travel to autumn just to go get it.
No.
I just play the game and go, hey, it'll be a nice surprise when the new season comes around and I find a bunch of new things.
Yeah, so that's me. I can understand the appeal in some aspects, but then there are people like, for example, like Baldur's Gate. We had the video about Baldur's Gate, Karl specifically, and we talked about various builds in that. Nigh on like 80% of the comments on that video are people saying, here's the super broken build you do to win and trivialize every fight. And I just found myself thinking, like, but I don't want to trivialize the fights. Also, it's a role-playing game. I'm role-playing a certain character, and that character might not be good at everything. Because sometimes, as in real life, people are dipshits, or make mistakes, or have accidents. And that's something the D&D system can replicate via the dice system.
It's one thing that I really am interested in at some point getting around to playing the Outer Worlds 2 for, because you'll essentially start building up like floors of, you've looked at the sun directly for too long and now like your vision is affected and things like that, of like negative aspects to your character. And Obsidian are quite good with this because there was similar stuff in like Fallout New Vegas.
Yes, where
you could have like weird perks that were, you'd get like one good thing out of it and one bad thing out of it.
I believe the term is lateral progression, where vertical progression in a video game is the number goes up. So you do more headshot damage with this gun. Lateral progression is headshots now ricochet to another opponent. It doesn't necessarily improve any single aspect of gameplay numerically, but it does change the way you play the game. And that's something, like I said, like negative stuff can impact. I think to Darkest Dungeon. Well, in Darkest Dungeon, just sometimes your people in Darkest Dungeon, he's just gone insane. He's a kleptomaniac, so every time you walk past a bag, he'll shove his hand in, even if it's trapped. And now you've just got to adjust to that play style. And there are people out there who they mod the game to get rid of that or give them perfect.
Literally, speaking of which, I was just looking up on the Outer Worlds 2 wiki some of the flaws, and one of the first ones that came up was like, there's a kleptomania flaw. And
it's a common one, yeah.
It's that you get 100% extra buying price from vendors for stolen items, but your player card automatically steals items in settlements and towns. And it's very similar to what you just were saying then. And I love stuff like that.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean, like, obviously, you get more money, which is a direct, like, vertical improvement of your character, but it does change the way you play the game, because now you have to change your approach of going into towns, because you now have something you have to keep in mind that you didn't have before, and that makes for fun gameplay. And I wouldn't...
Yeah, it really does. And, like...
Interesting gameplay, at the very least.
Yeah, and it also is interesting for repeated runs, because all of a sudden, like, there's a lot of variation within the builds that you can make.
It's similar to, like I said, Baldur's Gate. I've seen the people who re-roll or like save scum when they get a critical fail on something. Because I remember I mentioned, in one of my runs, I lost Gale. And why did you not reload the game to get Gale back? Well, I was playing the game blind. I didn't know who Gale was. I saw a wizard trapped in a stone, and I didn't want to...
You didn't trust it.
I didn't trust it, and I lost Gale. So, but why didn't you reload it to get Gale? I made a mistake, and I was going to live with it, and I was curious to see how the game would play out if I made that mistake. Something like Mass Effect. Right?
Yeah.
Where we had that run of Mass Effect where we lost Rex, and people were asking us, well, why didn't you reload, or why didn't you min-max into Paragon or Renegade to save Rex? Well, we weren't playing Shepard that way.
Yeah. And that wasn't our Shepard, and we were role-playing.
But seemingly some people couldn't understand, but why wouldn't you just do the thing that lets you get a perfect run every time?
Mm-hmm.
And I am fascinated by that approach.
We've played the game multiple times, we've already seen a perfect run each, so why not do something a bit different?
Also, when it's just a blind run, when people get genuinely confused why in a blind run you don't look
do
up
the perfect
strategy
thing
guides.
Every time, yeah.
Like people playing like Undertale for the first time, and then Undertale fans getting mad when they kill something. It's like, well, you're not supposed to kill anything. I didn't know that. I was waiting.
That's meant to be a revelation that makes you play or want to play another time and see what happens.
Go on, tell me more about Mass Effect. Sorry, Mass Effect. Tell me more about Animal Crossing.
Mass Effect. No, I was going to mention a couple of other quirks because, like, I do like this floor system, and there's another two that I found here that there's one that's easily distracted, and it's when leveling up, you can only add skill points into your lowest non-zero skill or any skill you have no points in already. So essentially, you can't just be boosting your higher stats.
You can't min-max.
You do get +1 skill point every time you level up. So it's that trade-off of, like, you're going to be a really good all-rounder because you're going to absolutely, like, nail the amount of skill points you get, but you're never going to be able to be, like, you know, min-maxing into a couple of
do you know what?
Easy specs.
Do you know what I think would be an interesting perk that would drive some people mad? If there was, like, a perk where you can't increase any of your stats in an even number, so you always have to have your stats as an odd number, just so you can never have, like, 8, it has to be 7 or 9.
So you always have to, like, save your skill points to then go up by 2 each time as well.
Because I know there's people out there, like, who get really, really upset, like, for example, like TVs when they're on, like,
the volume is
7
on the wrong
instead
number.
of, like, 8 or 10. That'd be a fun one, like,
I get annoyed.
Give your character OCD.
I get annoyed when it's on, like, 2, 4, 6, or 8.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
You 5
I don't
or
mind
10.
it being on a 10. I don't mind it being on 8 odds. but I don't like the evens that aren't the 10s.
See, and everyone has foibles like that. And I think that could be an interesting quirk for like a character building game of your character has OCD, so everything has to be like multiples of 3, or you always have to like check. You have to check containers 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But those 2 or 3 times you might accidentally find something new. Could be fun.
That'd be fun. And
be annoying,
the last one,
interesting playstyle.
Yeah, the last one I was going to mention is like the compulsive liar 4, and it's that every time a lie comes up as a dialogue option, you have to choose the lie.
That's fun.
But the skill requirement for the passing of a lie is eliminated.
But it might ruin your run because you always have to pick a lie.
You'll always succeed with the lie, but you always have to pick the lie. And I'm like, fun. That's a really fun system.
Like lateral progression of that completely changes the way the game will be played. The same way, like in video games, where I don't get why people want to min-max. I know why they want to. They want to win. They want to see the number go as high as possible, and they don't like challenge. They like winning, which is fair.
Yeah,
if you're playing a single-player game. But I would ask a person who does min-max would you at least not want to see another way of playing the game?
Mm-hmm.
Would you not at least, if you like the game that much, would you not at least want to experience it from a different perspective, perhaps?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Getting back to Animal Crossing, that was a strange and unusual tangent.
We've got a bit of a weird tangent going on, but give me one sec. I'm just going to look up like Animal Crossing Origins because it doesn't mention here in the Wikipedia page, but I just want to make sure that I get it correct because I vaguely know the story, but I just don't want to get it too wrong because I'm sure the comments will be like eating my left foot.
Well, it's the beauty of Wiki Weekends that we can refer to a wiki, which we'd hope would be at the very least sourced.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's the first game is called Dobutsu no Mori, which is usually translated into English as Animal Forest, and that was released on the N64 in April 2001. So real late N64 game. And then it was translated into English for the release in USA in 2002, and then Europe had to wait until the end of 2004 to get Animal Crossing, but I believe that Animal Crossing version was the GameCube release.
And that's the one as well where they put in a bunch of stuff. Weren't there some Animal Crossings where you could straight up just, here's some NES games, here's some GameCube games?
So the GameCube game, I think there was 20, a library of 20 NES games.
That's fun.
And one of the furniture items that you could get was just an NES, a Nintendo Entertainment System. And it was just, they put in those full games in Animal Crossing because each one of those games is maximum 8 megabytes or something like that.
It's interesting when games do
GameCube
that. Yeah.
Game.
I think to the Yakuza series, where in Yakuza, you can go to arcades, and because it's made by Sega, they straight up just put a bunch of Sega arcade games in there. And at some point, they're like, "Well, was enough space on a disc of an Xbox One or PlayStation 4/5? So just put Virtua Fighter on there." So they just put Virtua Fighter into Yakuza, and you could play local or online Virtua Fighter in Yakuza.
Yeah, it's so weird when they do things like that. Just here's your full games within your games. It's okay, I guess I'll take it. But Animal Crossing did take that out. And then I can't remember, because the reason I'm talking about Animal Crossing right now is because at the time of this podcast coming out, it's going to be within days of there being a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the game coming out for New Horizons, and also an extra content update, which adds some new furniture, some amiibo sport, and this big new hotel area that you can go and do decorations and quests for. There's loads of new items being added and such. So
I am continuously baffled at how Nintendo missed such an obvious layup. During the pandemic, where you had celebrities like Elijah Wood being I am playing this game. This game is awesome. How did they not just put some money into put some more content into the game?
I believe that the team that works on Animal Crossing is also the team that developed Splatoon. So realistically, they didn't see the boom from COVID come in for Animal Crossing. They'd mostly probably just released the game, moved on.
Still, though, how could like someone at Nintendo not see how much groundswell, like just the turnip trading thing, that was massive for like 6 months during the pandemic.
And just the fact that, hey, we've got this game that out of the blue sold like 30 million copies instead of 10, and was like the third highest selling Switch game or something, is wild to me that they didn't try to pivot in any significant way.
I'm always as well like confused why with how popular Animal Crossing is and how, like, obviously game development, it's not easy, but it must be simple comparatively to put in collaboration with other games of furniture. Is it that difficult to add in like furniture from franchises and brands they own?
Well, like, even weirder when the fact that there's a significant amount of Nintendo items in previous Animal Crossing games that they didn't put into New Horizons.
Exactly. Like,
and that could have been such an easy win for an update.
Just a drip feed content in of like, okay, we're going to put in a bunch of Mario costumes and inspired items. Just have one person on the staff who just makes models for that, and just every couple of weeks just drip feed it in.
Updates old items, right? Because they've got a lot of those items there from previous games, as I mentioned. Just, you need to, like, I guess, like, make higher resolution versions of the models, but you'd imagine, like, the interactions and scripting would, like, translate over. I don't know. I did study game development at uni, but I'm not a game developer. I'm not, privy to Nintendo's Animal Crossing systems.
Well, I can look at it and go, as far as games go, like I said, this is a game people like they will sink their life into, but it can't have been too difficult given how much money they
were
to make
from it. And it's similar to how baffled people were with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, right?
The cost to benefit analysis must have been ridiculous. It's going to cost you almost nothing compared to how much you'll make.
Yeah, it took Nintendo like 5 years to release any extra content for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it was like, why? Like, this is one of the highest selling games every month, year on year, just continually. That game never stopped selling.
Like I said, I imagine it's difficult to make a race course for a Mario game, but you must look like how popular the game is. Like, you stand to make this, it's a slam dunk. There's no way it's not going to make money.
And obviously we did in New Horizons get the was it the Happy Home Designer update? I can't remember the name of the expansion. But we got like one expansion, a few updates, and now we're getting, as I say, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, and we're getting some extra content for that, which I'm fully excited for. But we're only getting Nintendo item-wise, we're only getting Splatoon and Zelda stuff.
It just seems so...
Which, again, there's already pre-existing Mario items and Metroid items and stuff that aren't being put in this version.
Yeah, I can't speak to the effort that would be required, but when Nintendo owns every aspect that would be neat. Like, it's not like they need to contact someone yet to clear it or get like another company to, okay, do we have permission to use your license? Like, no, you own everything, and it's an internal studio who makes it, and it's super popular, and it's a really well established brand, and it's a super safe brand as well.
And just going back to the idea of, like, how did Animal Crossing get started, go?
Yeah.
So the origin kind of like stems from Katsuya Iguchi's feeling of just like being lonely when they moved over to Kyoto in 1986 for their job. And essentially they just had a sense of isolation and had the idea for a game, which obviously this is 1986 that they moved to Kyoto, but obviously they both like had to, I guess, get some clout to create their own original game, and also just technology kind of had to catch up because it was meant to originally be like a Nintendo 64 like disc drive exclusive game, which that didn't do well. That got cancelled quite quickly, and they pivoted to it just being an N64 game, but then got quickly essentially a plus version, a deluxe version got ported to the GameCube quite quickly. And yeah, it's just a game that was made with the idea of kind of creating a sense of friendship and community. And that's what the inspiration was. Hey, I feel lonely. What if I could have a game where there is no real aim? It's just make friends with these cute, friendly villagers and go shopping, go bug catching, go fishing, chill out, just vibe out in the game.
It's what I've heard. Yeah, it's not a game I've played at all, really, but I'm familiar with it by reputation. I've seen other people play it, like ex-partners and stuff, and it's just, it does seem like the ultimate just lie down on the sofa and just chill.
Yeah, it really is. And I think it's kind of baffling to me that it took so long to really hit the mainstream. Because obviously we've got games like Sims, which are similar, where The Sims can have outright goals, but you don't necessarily need to follow them.
Yeah, right.
Animal Crossing doesn't really play like a game where it has some goals that you can fulfill if you choose to, but you don't need to pay attention to them if you don't want to.
Yeah, I think my favourite self-imposed Sims goal that I learned about is breed out the ugly. And it's where you make a really ugly sim and then see how quickly you can make an attractive offspring. Just make a fuck ugly bright green sim or something and see how long you can go until they no longer look like Shrek.
Go down the generations and make them prettier each time, and it's like, dear God. But yeah, the Animal Crossing is again such a different game, because I don't think when it came out in early 2000s there were really many games, it's similar time of when Sims came out, right? And they were both revolutionary in different ways, but they both had the idea of you can get out of this game what you want.
Yeah, like I said, sandbox.
Yeah.
The only limit is your own imagination and penchant for creativity.
Sure, you get, a mortgage thrown at you by Tom Nook. Second one, he's oh, hey, I've given you a house. Pay me back. But you never need to. If you don't want to ever upgrade your house, you never
became
need
a running
to.
joke of he saddles you with a mortgage. It's he never asks you to pay it back.
He never asks you to pay it back. If you do, he upgrades your house for you. And then
it just gives you
it's
a
also
nebulous
interest-free, bear in mind. So he never turns around and goes oh, you haven't paid off your mortgage this year. You owe me an extra 10,000 bells.
It'd be funny if he did that. I'd love to see that update. I'd love to see people mod Fallout, so ammo weighs something, you have to drink water every 10 minutes. I would love to see a super hardcore Animal Crossing update where it has interest and penalty payments and
my God.
And it gives realistic prices on stuff of you caught a beetle, that's not worth fucking anything, it's a beetle. It's go to work. Put your 6 hours in.
You get a fucking message from Tom Nook at the end of the year, and he's like, oh, have you paid your taxes on your turnip sales? Oh, no.
Yeah. Inland revenue raccoons come in.
He just sends Timmy and Tommy round to your house with some baseball bats. Oh, but yeah, there is one thing to say about kind of Animal Crossing in terms of, I think it's a really good and bad thing that over the years, the edges have kind of been sanded off the game.
In what sense?
Which I enjoy in the quality of life senses, where they've made things a lot easier for you over the years. And they've kind of given you a lot more control over your island, because you used to have zero control.
Yeah, I remember that was one of the aspects that I found interesting, of when people would moan, I got a shit island, what do I do?
Yeah,
it's
you would just get a shit island sometimes.
It's you either reset or you deal with that shit island.
It's oh hey, my island shit and my house got put in an awful location.
Deal with it.
What do we do? It's you deal with it. But in the new game, you can, you basically God mode of you're not the mayor. Or maybe, no, you're the mayor in New Leaf, I think. I can't remember it, but you get put on this island. It's you can terraform the island. You can make it how you want. You can move people's houses. You can move the museum. You can move this. You can just basically entirely generate your own island eventually.
What is the most you have ever fucked up in a game like that, where you've metaphorically painted yourself into a corner? I've done it in like a SimCity game before where I started, I'll start in the corner and build out. And I didn't realise that, I put my rubbish in the corner. Because obviously I started in the corner, and then my neighbours got really shitty with me because in SimCity, like your neighbouring cities, if you put like rubbish dumps next to your borders, they'll get like really pissy, and they were like sending me like tax stuff.
You fucked around and you found out.
Yeah, and I couldn't like change it because obviously I couldn't delete the dump because you can't delete a place that has rubbish in it to stop people just deleting rubbish. So I had to clear it out, but I couldn't clear it out because the only way to clear it out would be to like get the little trucks to take it to the new dump that I built in a place that was more suitable, but they have to drive through the city and they wouldn't do it because the taxes were like so low. It lowered my taxes and like I was like, no.
Yeah, I had a similar thing where I remember going on Zoo Tycoon one day, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I set up a couple of quite small little zoo exhibits, put a couple of like stands around and whatnot, and was like trying to learn the game. And very quickly I started losing customers, and it wasn't quite telling me why. So then I started lowering my price for entry, hoping that would get people in. And then I like bought, a new animal that would hopefully be more of an attraction.
Like it's just
a more
like
unusual
a
animal. I can't remember exactly what animal it was, but basically, like, I started lowering my prices for entry and spending more money to get more customers interested. And I don't know what I was doing wrong. To this day, I ended up just, again, going into a death spiral and never playing the game again. But I was just hemorrhaging money with these more and more expensive things, and less people were coming.
Just cosplaying Chessington World of Adventures over here.
Yeah, and then I was charging less for the people that were coming.
But then people think, I don't want to go to that zoo. That's like Joe Exotic tier zoo right there.
Yeah, I got to a certain point where then I started going into full panic mode and started raising my prices, which got people even less interested. And I was like, oh no, I don't know how to fix this issue. And I just went bankrupt and was dead.
It's a game for real gamers. I remember when it was one of those Jurassic Park ones, things like Jurassic World, where you build things. And I was like, okay, I'm going to build an enclosure.
Evolution ones.
The Evolution ones, I was building an enclosure. Yeah. I went, okay, so I'm going to build like the enclosure for the like carnivorous dinosaurs in a natural valley. Because that means I only have to build a fence on like one side. And when I was building my fence, I noticed that, okay, it won't let me build the fence all the way into this gully.
Oh no.
So it's like there's a mountain here. It's like, okay, there's a gap on my screen, but in my head I'm thinking, well, presumably hitbox-wise, that's probably like a straight line going up. That should be fine. Build it, go on my part. And then at one point, it's like, guests are upset. And I scroll into my part. There's just a fucking T-Rex in the middle of my part. What? How did you get out?
It's the true Jurassic World experience.
Well, because, like, the thing is, all I can think of in my head is a customer walking up, hear the carnival, see like a 14-foot wide gap. It's like, why is that there? But I just assume, like, presumably, like, there must be like this is a natural. The game would have been
smart enough to like either let you close off that gap or let it not matter.
No, but it's apparently like it's you didn't build a complete fence and just the T-Rex just teleport. Because I think what it is, I captured it and dragged it back in. I watched it. I'd watched it to see what it was doing. And I saw it go to the edge of the fence, like where the gap was. And okay. And they clearly didn't program in like an animation for it to crawl through the hole. So it stood there for about like 10 seconds, had a little thing above its head saying it was thinking, and then it teleported out. I was like, psychic dinosaurs! It's just more that I was watching it, and it just went, I was like, no! That's not how this works! And I was so mad!
Oh. God, but yeah, like, they have made a lot of, they've given the characters a lot more control in Animal Crossing over the years. I like that. I appreciate that.
The granularity is appreciated, I guess, in the sense that for people who want it, it's there. For people who just want to, like, I want to be dropped on, I want Bear Grylls it, be dropped on the island and make do with what I've got.
And, like, they added, like, crafting and stuff, so you get that. So you get, again, a lot more just, like, things that you have control over, like, your crafted items you can do a bunch too, but the one thing that I will say is that I wish the characters still, some of them at least, I wish that they had the capacity to be mean.
Yeah, I remember like there was some talk back in the day of like there were some islanders that people fucking hated.
Mm-hmm. But nowadays they're kind of a little bit of a jerk to you if they're the like jerk characters and things like that. Like they're meant to be like kind of. I think there's like 8 personality types, and the ones that are meant to be nasty will kind of do a little jab at you and laugh every now and then or something. But back in like the original GameCube version, they were mean.
It reminds me
some of them were real mean to you and just call you out on your shit.
It's like Pokemon, isn't it? Like the rivals in new games are just basically like cheerleaders who like, please beat my ass, daddy, I want it, please. And then you go back to like Pokemon Gold, and there's that dude who just socks you in the gut and steals your Pokemon and runs away.
Like the antagonist in Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal is just a Pokemon thief.
Who just punches you when you first sail out.
Yeah.
Do you think that'd be interesting of like an update, but put in like the bad update, where it adds like stuff that makes the game worse, of like you get islanders who come to your island deliberately to like tear it apart.
I'm
going to say, do you like Viva Pinata? Sometimes you get the evil Pinatas that fuck your garden up.
Mm-hmm. It's one element that I really like having in those cozy games is just that one little evil element to mix things up a little bit.
You kind of need that like, X factor. Something like SimCity, where you need to have the option for something randomly a random catastrophe, because otherwise you can min-max it. So if, for example, in SimCity, you can occasionally randomly there's a tornado. What do? It destroys half your city. Like, did you prepare for a tornado? No. Well, next time be prepared.
So I just went into the Animal Crossing subreddit, Karl, and I just looked up like a post where it shows some of the like screenshots of the kind of like meaner lines from the older games.
Okay, I need to know how mean we talking. Give me an example.
So there's one here from a character called Ursula. I always thought you were some freak mental case because you run around town all the time. Grumph. Another one from Cherry. Whoa, you look so weird. And not weird in a hip way either. More like weird as in makes me want to barf. We've got Limburg coming out with that was your niece. I figured you must be blackmailing that poor girl to have lunch with you. Chow over here says, why, you little sniveling, it's Jamie. You wretch, you utter waste, you fat, bloated idiot.
I kind of like this idea. It's similar to, like, what is it in Skyrim? There's that Nazim, right? It's like, you've ever been to a Cloud District? I gather not. And everyone makes it their mission to always kill that guy because he's just such a prick. But if that guy wasn't there, you'd be robbing people of like the catharsis of telling that guy to go fuck himself.
Exactly. And there's a last one here from Rasha. Just, don't you have any decent clothes to change into? Oh, something not so ugly? They'd never say shit like that in New Horizons.
No, and I kind of wish they did, because again, like, you can't have any fire without friction. And again, you'd get that catharsis of like telling that cat to go fuck themselves or like kicking them off your island.
Exactly, yeah.
Seems like Pokemon, right? Where all your rivals, they want you to beat them, so there's not really any satisfaction in beating them. Whereas when you rival in the old games, like, smell you later. It's like, I want to kick that guy's ass.
When Hop's there, like, oh man, I wanted to be the best, but I'm so glad that you're the champion.
It's like, step on my balls, please. Do it harder. It's like, no, I want a rival who feels like a rival.
Yeah. And like, I appreciate the fact that, you know, the Animal Crossing villages, there are a lot of nice villagers, but I wish the ones that weren't meant to be nice personality types would commit to not being nice still.
Also, just I think it'd be interesting. Just 'cause I would love to have seen like the Elijah Wood tweet of him getting it shit off by one of his little animals. So I reckon if they did that, they'd probably get the game already goes viral quite often. But I reckon there'd be more people talking about the game than there already are if they put in stuff like that. If they put in like islanders who are like, oh, I found an islander tearing up my plants, and like, I don't like these plants, plant better ones.
And that's the thing is, I do really appreciate Animal Crossing as a series. I love New Horizons. You know, I have hundreds and hundreds of hours in it, and I'm looking forward to getting back to my island. Well, that's the thing, right? Is that this people steals people's lives so much. Is that in my group of Animal Crossing players, when I was like, getting essentially picked on for being the casual player, and I looked at my hour count and I'm like, well, I've played like 600 plus hours, and like, yeah, but we've all played thousands. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Lucas, I've got one last question for you. Like, what is the most creative or amusing to you way that you have gotten back at an NPC in a video game? Because while you have a thing, I think to my mate Tom, when he replayed Grand Theft Auto 4, people don't remember in Grand Theft Auto 4, there's a character called Michelle, and it's revealed about halfway through the game that she is actually like an undercover spy who's like there to spy on Nico and just dob him into the authorities. And early in the game, you want to date with her. Like, you can date as one of your girlfriends. And my friend, because he knew this, the very first date he took her on, where you take her bowling, he specifically drove his car like 1 mile an hour faster than she could like jog. So she had to jog all the way there. He always made sure he ran directly in front of her, went bowling, bowled a strike and immediately left so she didn't get a turn, made her jog all the way back to her house, and then as she was about to walk in, pulled a shotgun out and just blasted her in the face. And I'll never forget when he immediately, as soon as that happened, called her on the phone, and we lost our shit when she just said down the phone of like, I'm sorry, Nico, I've still not forgiven you for what you did. Because she's like an NPC who's programmed to never actually be too annoyed at Nico, because you need to always have
that moment in the story.
You need to have at least a neutral relationship. She's like, is there a date bad enough I can take her on where she won't date me? And she, even though he did all that and ended the date by shooting her in the face, she's still like, I need some time to deal with it, Nico, but call me in a few days.
Give me a week to go over this, yeah.
He's like Roman, you can never actually get Roman to dislike you, and my friend tried so hard to get Roman to not like him.
Well, there's one way you can get Roman to dislike you, Karl. There is.
Do you like the swing set? I remember my friend, the Grand Theft Auto swing set. He got one of
that flings you into the air. Yeah.
He went in that with Roman, and I'll never forget, Roman flew out of the windscreen. And I swear the last anyone ever saw of Roman was on a radar screen. He went flying. And meanwhile, we losing our shit, and then about like 5-10 minutes later, we get the phone call from Roman of like, "Can you pick me up from the hospital?" It's like, that hospital must be in San Andreas. And my friend just went, "No, sorry, Roman, I can't do that." He's like, "Oh, I guess I'll walk home then." We went
from fucking Spain.
He went so far. It's like, Roman, it's all right for you to call me, but you need to tell me what space looked like, right? You're the first Serbian in space. What was it like?
Oh, God. So good.
Any like moments like that for you from a game?
Well, I have a few, but I guess the one I need to mention is, because we're talking about Animal Crossing, my Animal Crossing story about Rodney.
I know you hate some Rodney.
Some fucking Rodney. I'm sure it's Rodney. I'll double check.
He's like the little like deer or like donkey or something, right?
So he's a little hamster.
Okay, he's blue. I recall.
He's a blue hamster with a shit-eating little smirk and like a pink little fluff of hair, ironically with my pink hair.
Wasn't he like a digital STD for you and your Animal Crossing?
So Rodney was an arsehole.
He is an arsehole. Is
an arsehole. I hated him so much, and I was looking up like, hey, Animal Crossing New Horizons, he was one of my first villagers. Like, not one of the first 2, but he was one of my first 10, I think. And, like, because you have a maximum of 10 on your island. And he just showed up one day, and I'm like, who the fuck is this Rodney? And I hated him. I spent so long going on the advice of keep hitting him with the bug catching net, because that was something that they wouldn't enjoy. And the prevailing theory early on was if you keep doing that, then it's gonna like annoy them enough to make them want to leave.
This is early enough in the game's life, so people didn't know how to min-max to get islanders to leave.
Yeah, this is one thing I will min-max in a game, is my Animal Crossing villagers if they piss me off. But, so Rodney, it turns out, wasn't wanting to leave, and then, I started continuing to look into it every now and then. And people then started going on the theory of just don't interact with them at all.
Okay.
So then I'm like, right, okay. Don't interact with them at all. Got it. So then my next strategy was to build fences entirely around Rodney's house. So Rodney was just penned in his front garden whenever he'd try and leave his house. And I put like a giant fence all the way around. I then dug like pitfall holes all the way around the fence. And then I put signs outside of the pitfalls of like just a big, like the big red circle with a line going through it of just like, do not interact with Rodney. And every now and then he'd get teleported into like a certain game location because they could do that apparently. But most of the time, I'd just, be doing my daily little Animal Crossing run, and Rodney's just stood in his front garden like, please
what
let
you
me
did see
out.
was actually like training with the yard rats to learn instant transmission.
So eventually, Rodney has a little thought bubble above his head in his front garden, and I go over to him, dig my way through.
You gotta dig your way in.
He's like, oh yeah, I think I might want to leave the island. So I go, fuck off, yes, get out right now. And then next thing I know, it's like
your group chat started popping off, right? Turned up
who is this Rodney guy comes up in the group chat? He says that he knows Lucas. Oh my god, no.
So he just went to your mate's island.
Because we'd all interacted with each other and visited each other's islands, the game sent Rodney to one of my friend's islands, and then all of a sudden, every couple of weeks, it'd just be a screenshot in a group chat of a new person's got Rodney on the island. We just couldn't get rid.
That might be the most realistic video game ever of the completely clueless person who doesn't realise they weren't invited to the house party.
Just keeps turning up and is like, oh yeah, I know Triple H. Triple H is great. And it's for context, my character's called Harley and they nicknamed me Triple H. I was like, yes.
Oh, so good. It's
yeah, just as you say, the virtual STD that was Rodney.
Just passed around just all the time. It's I remember it was in FIFA. My younger brother, he got so mad that his striker missed a goal. He proper spooned it. He went off on side. I could have made that shot. So he put him on the bench and lowered his wages. And I was it's not a real person. It's a digital guy. From my little brother went to the effort of lowering his wages.
Oh God.
And I think as soon as he had the ability to, he traded into another team, challenged that team to a friendly, and then just slide tackled that player as much as he could until he injured him.
Oh,
ruined his career. And that's the beauty of video games, right? It lets you do stuff like that. There's organic moments that arise when you're playing in a sandpit built by a video game designer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know we haven't got too into the weeds of the Animal Crossing franchise.
But you wouldn't, would you? 'Cause you got to pull them all up and get rid of them.
Oh, God. Every now and then you just return to the island, and even if you put it on, the beautiful mode that they added, where your NPC characters on the island are meant to kind of pick up weeds every now and then,
yeah,
it still doesn't 100% do it, so you still come back and half of your island's got weeds on it, and you're like, ah.
I still think it's those people who, on Reddit, I booted up my old DS and I left, my Nintendo. And it's just, the Nintendo is 50 poos in its thing.
It's just when you turn back up on the island and they're like, oh, hey, Harley, I thought you may have gone missing. I haven't seen you in 16 months. You're like, I'm really sorry, Coco.
I think one of the most wholesome one of those is the person who's like, oh, I got a new 3DS and it Street Pass with my old one. And they transitioned since then, and it's just them looking at their previous little is it Mii's on Street Pass?
Mii's,
the Mii's on Street Pass, and it's just them when they were male and now they've transitioned to female, and looking at themselves in the mirror. It's this was a really surreal moment of encountering myself, and my own me doesn't recognise effectively their reflection.
That's fascinating. That's such a specific story to
that person's experience.
The 3DS and Street Pass and their own experience. Yeah, that's cool.
Then there's obviously this classic, right, of who are you? I'm Long from Pennsylvania. That's the most legendary one, isn't it? Long from Pennsylvania.
Oh, I did love that they even had times where you could go to certain Nintendo events and meet people like Iwata and stuff on Street Pass and like Shigeru Miyamoto's me and stuff. That's super awesome.
It's like, I know that like Street Pass is not really a thing, but every time there's like a convention or like an anime expo or something like that, people say, take your 3DS because you will get Street Pass for days.
Yeah, like I really do want to, attend a couple more like conventions and stuff in the future. And I really want to make sure I remember to take my 3DS because like I was so all in on Street Pass. Street Pass is phenomenal, and I know
as a social mechanic it is, absolutely.
Yeah, and the games were really good. And some of the newer games that they added that you could buy were like super in depth.
Just the idea as well of like what a great way to encourage people to take your handheld outside of just you get passive.
I know the kind of argument is that batteries on more powerful handhelds already aren't great, so having that system kind of run in the background on a more powerful thing like a Switch is not really ideal.
It's fun.
But everybody still talks about how great Street Pass is to this day.
And you know what? If anyone out there has any like ideas for any upcoming conventions in and around the UK, let us know. Because that's a goal for this year. I want to do more things. It's like last year for me was more like I bought my house and I need to literally get my house in order. And now it is in order, so I can justify like traveling and spending money doing things like events and concerts and gigs and stuff. But hell, goddamn, Street Pass. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Animal Crossing, let's go.
I know, indeed.
Thank you all for listening to the podcast, watching the podcast. And if you've enjoyed it, just make sure, to like the video, check if you're subscribed, and ring that bell and all that good jazz. But yeah, I think that's it for us, and I hope you all have a lovely day.
Yeah. Cheers, everybody. So, Lucas, this is the second thing we're recording in 2026. How was your 2025, my friend?
2025, I've had better years, I'm not going to lie, but hopefully 2026, I was going to say goes well, but we're off to a start of, the first thing we recorded is unusable, let's try again.
And we could have realistically used that recording, but we want the shout-outs for our supporters on Patreon to be in the highest quality possible we're able to produce them.
Of course, yeah, and the first person that we have to thank, of course, on our shout-out tier on our Patreon, is Be of Awesome, another month, another zesty expedition. Can you both say this one 3 times fast? One smart fellow, he felt smart. One smart fellow, he felt smart. One smart fellow, he smelled... No, I can't.
You almost made it. The best bit is you almost didn't pronounce the beginning of that name, so I'll give it a go now. One smart fellow, he felt smart. One smart fellow, he felt smart. One smart fellow, he felt smart. And yeah, I like tongue twisters. I had to do a lot of tongue twisters when I was younger to help me overcome a stutter and help with the cadence of my speech because I spoke too quickly, ironically enough. And the one that I just have commit to memory just for all time will be Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear, Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair, so Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't Fuzzy Wuzzy. But if anyone out there has another fun tongue twister for us, why not join our Patreon at the shout out tier and change your name to it. But we move on now, Lucas, to shout out Daddy Grunts. And who do you think had the biggest daddy moments of 2025? Because Pedro Pascal was living his daddy life, right?
Yeah.
He revealed that he reads his own thirst tweets when he's feeling shit, which I respect so much.
I do respect.
For instance, what are you? Are you the daddy of the internet? What's internet daddy?
Me.
Yeah, you are.
But taking it down more of a literal daddy route, for me, I oddly had DK come to mind from Donkey Kong Bonanza, because he's just running around looking after Pauline and getting them bananas.
He is. He's being that daddy gorilla.
He is.
Which reminds me of my dad, because we used to call my dad the gorilla, because he had the exact hairline of a silverback gorilla and was going a bit grey. So we just used to call my dad the gorilla.
The silverback. But Karl, that leads us on to our next person that we have to shout out today, and that is a thank you to Fallopian Starship and the Tunnel of Life.
I don't know how to feel about that pun.
I like it.
I really don't know. It's a good pun. I think it'd work as a quiz name. That's the kind of quiz name where you have it, and the quiz master shouts out and goes, "Oh."
Yeah, but I would buy an album that is The Tunnel of Life by Fallopian Starship. Just
I think I wouldn't buy it, but I'd listen to it on Spotify just to know.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the modern equivalent of buying the album, right? Is I would go and listen to that on a streaming platform.
All I can think of is Cobra Starship.
Yeah.
That band that sucked.
I thought one of their albums was alright.
The first one, when it was 2010.
Well,
and you had my haircut.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think the guy on the front of the album has my haircut, so it's like I can't really say much about it, can I? But we move on to shout out kicking bucket, which is a euphemism for eating shit, which itself is a euphemism for shuffling off this mortal coil, which itself is a euphemism for word we can't say on YouTube, or this video gets like delisted.
Yeah, like I think we're at that point where there's a few words like that get us demonetized. We're not always sure.
Cool, state-of-the-art jellyfish nets.
Touch. Don't touch.
Wow, the harpoon from Jellyfish the movie.
Touch. Don't touch.
But yes, Karl, in that fashion, who do you think last year ate shit or kicked the bucket the hardest?
Probably me, playing the thank you update of Claire Obscure Expedition 33, when I thought, well, I beat the super boss in the base game. I can beat the optional super boss they've added as a thank. No. Clap my cheeks, Summit Chronic.
Thank you, we're here to humble you now.
I won't spoil it, but when I went into the area with the optional super boss, and it was 2 super bosses from the previous base game, I'm fucked, and they attack at the same time. It's like, well, I'm done.
And the next person that we have to say thank you to is a support from someone that might sound slightly familiar. That is Kyle Tiny Forest.
Man stole my whole flow.
Just.
Identity theft is not a joke. Millions of fans. Because that's the clip I'm going to put in, right?
Of course.
Unless
yeah.
this person's name actually is Kyle Tiny Forest. Well, but I suspect they might be trying to make fun of my real, actual last name, which is awesome.
Identity theft is not a joke.
Kyle Tiny Forest.
Millions of families suffer every year.
I love being a Smallwood. It gave me the easiest setup when I used to do stand-up. I'd walk on stage and say, hey, yeah, I'm Karl Smallwood. Yes, it's my real name. I'll spell it out for you now. SMALLWOOD. Bit of a mouthful, I know. No one ever expects that from a Smallwood. Always knocked him dead. Clearly, yes. But, we move on now to shout out Ranma Sour Tome. And I'm aware that's from an anime. And I'm aware as well we got comments in our last couple of videos in the last month's shout-outs where people were wondering, I'm surprised you don't know that anime. So just to address that, I haven't watched every anime. I'm sorry. There's a lot of it.
How dare you, Karl?
Card captors, a mystic adventure. Card captors, a quest for all time. Card captors. Card captors.
I just, caught up on My Hero Academia and the latest arc of One Piece. So, yeah, I've been, watching an anime out there. I've just not watched that many. We're a bit basic in our tastes, I guess one would say.
We are, but to know that there's a good anime out there I haven't watched means there's something cool that I'll be able to watch at some point in the future, and that's really nice. That's one thing I like about living in this interconnected age of there's so much content out there, I'll never be done. So there's always going to be something new and exciting to watch.
Exactly.
Isn't that fun?
The next person that we've got to thank is Roslindis Memphis, so thank you. And Karl's going to have fun once again trying to find a way to incorporate walking in Memphis into this.
So I'm going to pull back the curtain. I edit these end of video shout-outs, and I like to put in a fun, personalised clip for each person who shouts us out as a thank you and as a challenge to myself. For the past 5-6 months, because Rosalindis Memphis has supported us for a while now, I've tried to just find any clip of Mark Combs walking in Memphis that I can, and every single one gets copyright struck. I even tried putting Nightcore in, that got copyright struck. I tried speeding up the Nightcore, which itself is just the song sped up, and that got copyright. I put Nightcore squared in, and it still got copyright struck.
I'm waiting.
I'm running out of genres.
I'm really just waiting for a message from Russell and this of just I really hate that song as well, right?
It's I fucking hate that song. We move on now to Split Screen, pour one out for my Clanker R2D2. And I'm just going to refer to that legendary tweet from 2025 of, I never thought I'd live long enough to see the first slur for a robot, and yet here we are.
Tag Team Robot Wrestling. It's the mighty robots of Battlestar Galactica versus the gay robots of Star Wars.
Stop! Please save me, R2! Oh, you stupid little chap! You're so boring! I hate you!
But yeah, the next person that we have to shout out, Karl, is going to maybe give me some difficulties in the shout out, but we challenge, or Karl specifically challenged, people to make this difficult for us a while back. So, normally I throw Karl under the bus for this particular patron, but it's my turn to suffer. So, I've tried to practice this. It's going to be a bombshell, but yeah. Shout out to Tinakui Hochata, Nopa Koyotali, Chipwa Modlatos, Mosla, Noko Yoan, Motase Twal, Yo Will Wislok, Tidachimachila Yo. And I'm really sorry. This is the challenge. I've been fumbled on this one and humbled.
If it makes you feel any better, I've got a friend who knows how to pronounce that, and when I asked them, am I even close? No. So am I even? No. What about when I do not do the accent? The accent doesn't help; it makes it worse. Oh, okay. So we can only apologise to that supporter because they're supporting us, and we really, really do want to shout them out properly. But we did specifically issue a challenge to come up with a name we can't pronounce, and they've certainly kicked our ass in that regard. So I've got to give them props.
They certainly have.
Yeah, I also give a props to ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, little ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji, ghost emoji. And I appreciate that every single month, little ghost adds another ghost to their name, and I'm waiting for them to start calling themselves Big Ghost. Massive Ghost. Ginormo Ghost.
Yeah, because the amount of ghost emojis is ever increasing every month, so at some point there's going to be Army of the Dead level, just ghost emojis.
I'm just waiting for it to like a boo from Mario, of when we turn around, more ghosts appear and we don't notice it. That's what it is. It's like we don't look at a Patreon enough and just another ghost appears.
And the person to shout out is Burning Dragon, and then they put in Morse code, just, hey Karl and Lucas, love the content, which, what a nice way to start the year. Just, love the content.
And seeing it in Morse code makes me realise why Morse code is only used by people on ships. The fuck else are they going to do?
SOS Avalanche Send Help.
Watch someone who's super into it tell us in the comments it's actually the most efficient manner of speech.
I guess it kind of is, because it's pretty, universally easy to understand, right?
Once you understand it, yeah, but we don't understand it. But fortunately, it's one of those, language systems where you can just pop it into a translator and it tells you what they said. And they said something very nice, which is appreciated. And we appreciate all the people who support this content, whether you are a Patreon producer or you just watch the video to the end because you like these shout-outs. Either way, you support the content, and we appreciate it, and we hope to keep making more throughout 2026.
Hell, goddamn yeah. And thank you, everyone, once again, for your support. Have a lovely day.
Cheers.